5 with Coach Sam Shea with Alabama A&M. We have a couple quick announcements before we get started. If you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. We ask you please limit your questions to one initial question. If there are additional questions there in the queue, if we've got time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. We also ask that you please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking.
I appreciate you, man. I was just trying to make sure.
We also ask that you please have your lines actively muted unless you are asking a question. With that being said, we'll pause here momentarily. We thank you for your patience. Once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please ensure that your lines are muted unless you are actively asking a question. With that being said, we're happy to be joined by Coach Shade with Alabama A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking time to join us. Coach, if you could, we're not seeing your camera. Are you able to turn it on, or did you need it off for today?
No, actually, I've got it. I had it on, and for some reason it keeps going out.
Okay, no problem. No problem at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, sure, no problem. Coach, if you could just start us out, obviously this past week, bye week for your program. So if you just kind of start us out just assessing this past week for your team.
Yes, this past week we had a bye. It was a much needed bye, first bye of the season after seven ball games. We were pretty banged up as a team, so it was good to have that time off to have some guys get back healthy. Also, we've got midterms this week, so it was good to let guys academically really try to spend a little bit more time academically preparing for midterms and whatnot. So it was a good week, and we're back to work today.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well.
All right, Coach. My first question for you today, you talked about the bye week, which is something obviously that was needed. Can you give an update on the injury report of players that you can share for this week's game?
We've got some guys like offensive lineman Ramir Lewis. He was able to get back a little bit healthier than what he's been the past few weeks. That was good. A couple defensive linemen, Nick Glenn and Jordan Brown, were able to get a little bit healthier from the break. We've got some guys that aren't quite. We're not sure right now about. Obviously, Quad Brown, he's questionable still for this Saturday. I know he's one that's questionable, and so. It was good just to, get some guys back feeling better.
All right, Coach. If time permits, I'll come back and ask more specific about this week's game.
Okay.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Super fantastic, Coach. Your first Magic City Classic, Coach. Talk about the importance of this game and then tell us about what you've seen from this Alabama State team offensively on film.
The importance of this game is obviously, it's against our rival. So, that makes it a big one. But, at the end of the day, we get 12 guaranteed opportunities per year. And this is the next one right here. This is the next one. And, they're all big to us each and every game. And this is a big game because it's the next one. Offensively, Alabama State, they've got a lot of weapons. Obviously, starting with their quarterback, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in FCS football. And he's got a lot of talent around him, a lot of good running backs, and also a number of good receivers, starting with number 0, Jalen Jones. And the offensive line is playing really well. They're playing really well. These guys offensively, they're only a few points away from being an undefeated football team. So we're definitely going to have our work cut out for us defensively.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
This question goes to Mona Stapleton.
Good morning, Coach Sam Shade. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you, Ms. Mona?
I'm fine, thank you. So this is your first Magic City Classic. They're expecting over 70,000 fans to come to the Classic. Can you talk a little bit about gearing up that locker room and your team? What has it been like in the bye week as far as getting prepared? What are you telling your student athletes in terms of the meaning of this game?
Well, we've been talking about it since last week, since the bye. We had a few practices that we got in preparing for the ball game, and we just let them know that this game is unlike a lot of games because it's not necessarily a true home game for either team. And what I mean by that is you got half the stadium A&M, half the stadium State. We make a play, all A&M folks are going to be cheering and hollering. If they make a play, that's the way it's going to go. So it's definitely going to be a game that we've got to stay focused, and there are going to be some ups and downs in the game and some momentum swings and things like that. But, the thing we've talked about with our team is just playing 4 quarters and executing and just staying focused for 4 quarters of football.
All right. Good luck this week, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
This question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
All right, coach. So specifically about this game this week, you guys have had some issues with run defense, which you said last week you guys are going to work on through the bye week. But also in addition to that, this game could be perceived to be a potential shootout with the fact that Alabama State gives up about 400 yards of offense on average throughout its games, and most of their games have been high octane. So with all of the things that you guys have worked on defensively this week in preparation for this Alabama State offense, what are the specific keys that you guys need to do to make sure that you dial in on all the aspects of offense, particularly this run game?
Well, it starts with us stopping the run. We got to do a good job of limiting their run game, and unfortunately, their run game also involves their quarterback. He's a big part of that, also a huge part of the passing game. But it all goes through him. Their offense, it all goes through him, and we've got to do a good job of containing him, particularly when we get him to third down, because that's where, if he can't find anybody down the field, he's done a good job of getting away from the rush and running for the first down. So he's going to make our jobs really tough defensively on Saturday. But we've got to do a good job of just limiting what we give to him with his legs.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it as always, and best of luck this week in your first trip to the Magic City Classic.
All right. Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. Good morning, Coach Shay. How you doing today?
Good morning, Doc. How about you?
I'm doing good. Like you said, going into your first Magic City Classic, big crowd, big events, all around. What do you try to get your guys to understand as far as blocking out the noise for the week, not listening to a lot of the pundits, and just trying to get themselves focused for this game?
Well, the first thing is just like, our last ball game was homecoming, and we talked all week about homecoming not being for us. And same thing with this ball game, the Magic City Classic. So many events and things going on around this ball game here on campus in Birmingham, all that. So for us, the main thing is the classic isn't for us. The game is for us, and that's what our players have to understand, and that's where we get to go out and showcase our team and what we can do. So that's been what I've been telling the team this week is, hey, the classic isn't for us. The game is for us.
All right. Good luck with you, Coach.
All right.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
This question goes to Dr. Gaville.
This is Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Gaville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Shay.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good.
That's great.
Thank you. Wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience in rivalry games. What attitude do you expose that you had going into those games that you want your team to have, or maybe not have, in terms of looking forward to this type of matchup?
Well, obviously, yes, I have been in quite a few rivalry games. Obviously, Alabama, Auburn, Redskins, Cowboys, you name it. So I've been in some. The main thing is for our team is just to realize that we've got to go in and stay focused. Don't get caught up in the pageantry and the atmosphere. It's another game, but at the same time, in a rivalry like this, we've got a lot of players from the state of Alabama on our team. They've got a number of players from the state of Alabama on theirs. And so that's where the rivalry really becomes intense, because you've got guys that have played high school ball together, grown up, little league ball together, all those type of things. And so that's what really creates, the rivalry. You've got some houses divided. You've got some families that have gone to state, and some of the members gone to Alabama A&M. So that's what really makes it, such a rivalry, and that's what makes the players so passionate about the game when they're involved in it.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup. Good luck this week.
Yes, sir.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, next we go over to Alabama State and Coach Robinson. Once again, if you do have questions, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Happy to be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. As always, we appreciate you taking time to join us. Coach, obviously a bye week for your team this past week. So if you can just kind of start us out by assessing this past week for your team.
Yeah, I mean, bye week, of course. So trying to keep everybody healthy. Did a good job of getting some good quality work in early in the morning and let everybody go and take a little bit of time off. And everybody came back on time. So that was really good. Just keep pushing that discipline aspect of it. So now, as we know, that's been talked about on the call, is the Magic City Classic. So it's probably the most exciting and the biggest week of the year for the football team, for the school and myself. So we're just excited to be a part of it.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Rob, good morning to you. How are you today, sir?
Doing well. How's it going?
Doing great. So with this bye week, you guys obviously coming off the last game that you played. What was the process for you to get this team back up from that tough loss? And then what in specifics have you guys really just focused on, just, turning the page as you get ready for this big rivalry game that really requires no motivation at all for you guys?
Yeah, so that was the good part about it. Usually when you have a tough loss, you want to come back and play the next week. But just from a standpoint of injury, getting a couple guys healthy, big offensive tackle, Desmond Daniels, hoping to get him back out there. Probably could have played against Jackson, but it wouldn't have been a smart decision. So now we get those guys back healthy. So we're hoping middle linebacker Rudy Jean Louis, who couldn't play against Jackson, so we should have him back. Starting corner, he should be back. So it's good for the health standpoint. I just, from the psyche, I think from that standpoint, just execute. That's our word for the year, is execute. And when you look at the Jackson game, everybody think it comes down to one play, but it was a lot of plays that we could have executed a little better. So we're just going out there to try to put together perfect practices. Our motto is always win today. So we know we can't worry about Saturday. It'll get here soon enough. Just go out there and have a great Monday and a great Tuesday and just build towards Saturday. So that's been the focus.
All right, Coach, I appreciate you as always, and best of luck to you guys this week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Super fantastic, Coach. How are you today?
Going well, going well.
Coach, Magic City Classic, can you talk about whether or not you view it as an advantage to have been played in this game, having coached in this game previously, or is that an advantage for you over Coach Shade and your program? Can you talk about that aspect?
It's probably an advantage until the game starts. And I think once the game starts, it's a football game. So at that point, the advantage has disappeared. You have to go out there and play 60 minutes. And both teams are going to play hard. And Coach Shade has played in big games. He's coached in big games. It's another big game. So from that standpoint, now I don't think it's a huge advantage. Once you get out there and the opening kickoff going, it starts to go, then at that point, we're just coaching a football game and the kids have to play well.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
No problem. Thank you.
This question goes to Timona Stapleton.
Good morning, Coach Robinson. How you doing?
Doing well. How's it going?
I'm good, thank you. So right now you are 3-0 in this classic, undefeated since you took over as the head coach at Alabama State. Can you talk a little bit about, I guess, just continuing that win streak and what you're telling those young men in the locker room in terms of how important this game is, since a lot of your team is young and this is their first time going into an atmosphere of 60 to 70,000 fans?
Yeah, I think my message to them was, what have you done for me lately? I think that's what the fans are going to say. Both teams want to go out there to try to win and compete. And it's just a great atmosphere. It's going to be a great college football game, just the whole scenery, the pageantry of it, just everything, the band, the parade, all that type stuff. But, our job is we're part of the entertainment. And that's always the message, similar to what Coach Shea said about those guys at homecoming last year. And that's the biggest thing you got to get last week. You got to get the young guys to understand that all of the extra stuff and the fun stuff, that's for the alumni that come back. You're part of the entertainment. They're paying money to see you play a really good football game. And so we'll be focused on that message of just go out there and just execute and play at a high level and give your very best. And you want to come out there with a win.
Good luck this weekend, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Robinson, how you doing this morning?
Doing well. How's it going?
I'm doing good. Ready for the Magic City Classic. Getting your team well prepared. What are some things you want to try to get your team to understand, like as far as getting the distractions out of the way and just focusing on this game?
Well, for me, it's just like I said earlier, we just have to execute at a high level. Offense on third down, we're doing really well. We have to continue that. We emphasize it for defense. We've not been good on third down, so we know that allows other teams to continue drives. It allows you to give up more yards and more points. And it's been a various different mistakes. There's always a different player making one simple mistake. So we know we have to execute, and just looking forward to getting the other team in the third down and then having some positive stuff happen in the game. We've been really good at it the last week in practice. So we know we have to take the practice reps and then put them in the game reps. And so to me, that's the biggest difference the biggest area that I want to see improvement in, should I say.
Hey, Andrew, do I have time for one more question?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Coach Robinson, coming out the pretty much what we call the game of the year 2 weeks ago against Jackson State, how did you get your guys to just stay focused and not worry about the game from before and not try to look ahead in other matchups?
Well, this is the Magic City Classic, so is no looking ahead. I don't know what other matchup we'll be looking at that's any bigger than this one. So that would be very short-sighted on anyone. This is the game that I look forward to for the whole year. And so if anything, you were looking ahead to this game. So I think from that standpoint, the kids would be focused. We understand the moment. We try not to, it's kind of like a stoic philosophy. You can't control what happened in the past. And if you're worrying about what's going to happen in the future, then that's just going to have anxiety. Just live in the moment. So we're going to live in the moment. We're going to enjoy each day. We're going to enjoy playing in this Magic City Classic and do our very best to win. And after that, we'll see what happens the next week. But for right now, we're just focused on winning Monday. Go to class, be on time, and then come back and win Tuesday. And so if we can just have a win today philosophy like we've been having the last couple of years, we'll be fine. But I don't think no one's looking past the Magic City Classic.
All right, appreciate you, Coach. Good luck.
Absolutely.
This question goes to Ty Miller.
Hey, Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going, Ty?
I'm good. This game has a history of one player, and oftentimes it's not the quarterback. One player stepping to the forefront to make a difference in his team winning the game. So as you look at your offensive and defensive players, do you have a guy who may be that unsung hero on either side of the ball that could step to the forefront this week?
Yeah, I could name a couple, but I don't know who it's going to be. And so I told the guys, I went back to my first year in 22. We had a guy, Dante Norris, who maybe had 15 carries in his 4-year career at Alabama State, but A&M muffed the punt. He muffed the punt in the fourth quarter. He recovered it. We went on to score, and it helped us to win the ball game. So, and that was my message to the kids. It's going to be an unsung hero. It could be a freshman, an older guy. I don't know who. But when you have an opportunity to make a play, then take advantage of it. And in big games, it's always a guy that nobody expects to come out there and make that play. And so we're hoping that guy is the Alabama State Hornet and not a Bulldog this week.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Last question goes to Perry Daniels.
Coach, can you talk about preparation, the difference in preparation for a Quad Brown-led Alabama A&M offense and an Eric Hanley-led A&M offense?
Yeah, that's going to be tough because I don't think the play calls change dramatically, but each player has their own strengths. And so for us, just for me watching film, I watch a lot of film. I'm a film guy. And so now you have to go back and not just watch the last 3 or 4 games, but you have to watch, let me watch all the games that Quad played and let me watch all the games that Hadley played in. So then I can kind of put together exactly what they're trying to do offensively. So it is a challenge because we don't know what guy will play or if both of them may play. And so it's just part of it. You have to just put a little bit of extra work in and understand who's in the game and how they may attack you with this quarterback in the game compared to the other one.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Coach, we're going to take one more question if you got a second. We'll take that from Marvin Nichols.
Okay.
Good morning, Coach. Thanks for taking my question.
Mhm.
Every classic creates legends. What kind of legacy do you hope your team will leave on this year's Magic City Classic?
Well, yeah, it's they give out an MVP trophy at the end of the game, and I told the kids it was one of my goals as a player here to win the MVP trophy, and I never did, but we were able to win the game, so it was still a lot of fun. So the biggest thing is to win the game, but within winning the game, yeah, it's going to be some legends that's going to create it on both sides. You know, Keyshawn Johnson a couple years ago, end of the half, we throw up a Hail Mary play, he scores a touchdown. It helps us to move on to win that game in the second half. You know, Barry Wagner, when I played against him, he had 18 catches against us, and they beat us in the Mad City Classic. So it's Tavares Jackson had a terrific throw, and that made me know that, hey, this guy's going to go on to play in the NFL. So it's going to be some great players on both sides that's going to make big time plays. And like you said, they'll become legends because of this game. And so in the midst of that, as a player, you just have to go out there and perform at a high level. And like I said earlier, if you get an opportunity to make a play, just take advantage of it.
Well, Coach, that's a great history, and you know your stuff. Good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we now go over to Alcorn State and Coach Cedric Thomas. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate you taking time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recap your team's most recent outing versus Florida.
Can you see me? I'm trying to.
Yes, sir. We can see you.
Okay. Yeah, took that trip down to Tallahassee, for homecoming, for their homecoming. And basically just a tale of two halves. Did a really good job stymieing out that offense, creating some explosives in the kicking game the first half and the second half. Just didn't finish. They made a few more plays, had a couple more opportunities, and just fell short. It's 5 out of 7 games for us that the game go down to the last possession. And so we got to do a better job of understanding how to finish, but also before we get into that finish point, we just got to make some plays that's still out there, and we just got to clean up this whole field goal, operation. And so proud of the way the guys, fought to the end and traveled and had the business trip mindset, but still got to clean up a few things, such as that, that field goal and that operation is kind of being a thorn in our side right now. And so we got another week to prepare for a really good Mississippi Valley team. And so we excited about getting an opportunity to get out on Tuesday to right these wrongs.
Appreciate those opening comments. Coach, first question goes to Timona Stapleton.
Good morning, Coach Thomas.
Good morning.
So it looked like you guys were moving the ball pretty well in the first half in terms of rushing. And then I guess you had like a really good special teams play as well for a touchdown. Can you talk a little bit about your use of the run game? Does it look like at Jacorian Sewell, he's been doing so well in other games, and he only was able to get 25 yards rushing against FAMU. Can you talk a little bit about your rush game?
Yeah, just didn't do well up front. Sewell can't do it all by himself. And, me and Coach Watson, sat there and talked about, we didn't feel like this was one of the better games from offensive line standpoint. We know when we come in every stadium, everybody going to have eyes on Sewell. And so, rightfully so. But we got to do a better job, up front, creating a new line of scrimmage. And kudos to them. They gave us some movement and gave us some odd looks, that we hadn't seen before. But, that's no excuse. We got a good enough offensive line that we got to move people. We talked about that at pregame, that we're going to have to move people to be able to establish the run game, and we just didn't do that well enough.
Okay, well, good luck this week, Coach Thomas.
Appreciate it.
Question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Thomas, good morning to you, sir.
Morning.
So, Coach, sitting at 1-6 without and winless in the SWAC, I know emotions are part of the whole process. And having tough business decisions are part of the process as well. With your fans and with your alums and with your boosters, obviously, being 1-6 is not what they expected. And, but what I want to ask you with all of that being said is just being with all things real, like, where are you at just mentally with this whole operation? I mean, and its evaluation of the staff, the operation of players, where are you at with this whole process?
Mississippi Valley, right now, when I look at it, like I said, you take out the Lincoln game and the Mississippi State game, we've lost 5 games by a total of 30 points. That equals 1 touchdown. And so when you look at, some things inside of those games, it's a play here or there, it's a call here or there. And so all that matters. And so when you look at, in all 5 of those games, when you go back to every last one of them, we got a chance to get a stop, to have an opportunity to win the game, or we got a chance to score to win the game. And so those are the things that I just kind of look at, at this ball club. They're fighting, but we know internally there's some things that, from a personnel standpoint, that is keeping us from doing that in certain spaces, and some spaces are a little better than others. So we got to continue to just put it all together. When that opportunity comes to make those plays, we got to make them. And when it comes to those hard decisions, when it comes to making those decisions from a staffing standpoint, then not only myself, but the coordinators got to make those also.
Well, appreciate you as always, Coach, and good luck this week as you look to get your first SWAC win against Valley.
Appreciate it, sir.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Tough loss down there. I want to get a little philosophical with you this morning. A football coaching quote that is attributed to the great Bill Walsh says that football programs go through 3 phases. First, they hope they can win. Then they think they can win. Then they expect to win. In year 2 of you being the head coach at Alcorn State, where is your program on that scale?
That's a really good question. The pros and the cons to the transfer portal. We lost a lot of guys from last year who had been with us, with me being a coordinator in the first year as a head coach. And so when you go get guys, that's not necessarily meaning that they understand the culture or they know how to win. And so right now, we're not expected to, we're not expected to win. I don't see that mindset of guys finishing well enough to expect every single game to go in the stadium and feel like that they're expected to win. And that's on us as coaches, being able to help those guys navigate through that. We got guys on the staff who was part of that championship run as players, but they're no longer players. And so, we got to be able to cultivate and show, the young student athletes what that looked like, but also, in turn that they got to be able to go out and do certain things to be able to make that come to fruition. And so, we're still trying to cultivate that, even with it being year 2 and bringing some new guys in. And so that's a daily journey for us. And it starts again, Tuesday morning. And so we'll continue to work to get that mindset where it needs to be as we continue to work on this program and get it to where it needs to be consistent.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it, sir.
Next question goes to Stephen Robinson.
Good morning, Coach Thomas.
What's up with it, Stephen?
All right. Always a pleasure to talk with you and hear from you, get your insight. Just your thoughts on Mississippi Valley. They're coming off their first win of the season, and perhaps, I don't know if you gotten a scouting report on them yet or watched any film, but just your thoughts and impressions so far on this year's Valley State team, especially with a new coach in Terrell Buckley.
Yeah, they got some good things going on. You see the OC, we even go back and look at the Fair State and some of the offensive schematics that he's doing, got some opposite zone concepts. You do a really good job. The quarterback stirs the drink, very athletic, and he touch it every play. Got a live arm. You can see you throw it at, different arm angles. Got some wide outs on the perimeter. So, and defensively, man, they give you all different types of look. They're going to pull some things from here and there to give you some problems. So, being from the Delta, born and raised there, it's always good when you can look at, area school, no matter what level it is, to see them, playing hard and doing things the right way. And so we got our hands full, and we got to be prepared for a really good football team that the record doesn't indicate, how explosive or how good those guys are.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Wish you well.
Appreciate it.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Thomas, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm blessed. What's up with it, Doc?
I'm doing good. Going into this game with Mississippi Valley, you had y'all played a common opponent where you had both your wins come from Lincoln University. Going into this game, what are you trying to tell your team as far as trying to stop the run with Valley, where they gained over close to 200 yards rushing when they had 5 touchdowns? What are you trying to tell your defense and trying to lock in as far as this run game goes?
Yeah, we got to do a good job of putting guys in the box and being able to ID the quarterback and some of those running backs they got. Fant been playing a long time. We know he's explosive. His highlight tape consists of some really good runs, not only against us but some other guys in this conference. And 49, he does an amazing job with the outside zone and being able to stick his foot in the ground and get vertical. And so we got to make sure we know where those guys are, but we got to do a good job of making sure we got extra guys in the box. Anytime you playing 11-on-11 football offensively, then we got to assign somebody extra to the box to make sure, that number equals out. And so we got to tackle well in space, and we got to make sure that we're on our dotting all I's and crossing all T's, because they're going to give you some trick plays. They're going to give you some things that's going to be unorthodox. But that offensive coordinator does a really good job.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Last question goes to Mona Stapleton.
Yep, never mind. Thank you.
Last question goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good morning, Coach Thomas. How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed.
Awesome. How's your team's health heading into the weekend? Have you been able to get some key guys back or see the young players step up?
Could you repeat that? You was going in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, how's your team's health heading into this weekend's game? Have you been able to get some key guys back or see some young players step up?
More so, just getting some younger players to step up. It's typical, college football this time of the year. Everybody banged and bruised, and those guys are fighting. Training staff doing a great job trying to get those guys back. But it's next man up mentality, around here. And so we got to be ready for the next person to step up in some of those situations and positions. So we'll put a unit out there that's going to work and be ready to play, come Saturday.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Always appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking again next week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we now go over to Bethune-Cookman and Coach Woody. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. Obviously, a bye week for your program. So if you could just start us out by assessing this past week for your team.
We had a really solid bye week, going into, just making sure these guys are students first, catching up on schoolwork, making sure that those guys are handling business with that standpoint, and then getting guys healthy, and then being intent on the technique and fundamentals that we need to get better with.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Bill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Ville's inside the HBC Sports Lab. Coach Woody, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
Doing well, thank you.
Good.
Your team has really been solid on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense seems to continue to get better. What do you see in terms of this matchup against Pine Bluff that you want to continue to see your team improve on this week?
Well, like you said, it's always good to see improvement, and those guys are coming to work, going to work, working on the things that they need to work on. But us as coaches being intentional with the technique fundamentals, attention to detail, and just really constantly getting 1% better on those aspects. And we'll keep getting better on all three phases: offense, defense, and special team.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
This question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Woody.
Hey, how you
Good
doing?
morning to you, sir. Doing well. So just coming off this bye week, you guys, it's been a little while since you guys have been in the mix here in the SWAC race, and obviously you guys control your own destiny. But just specifically this week, this moment right now, Coach, with your team, what's been the overall vibe in your football building with the players, the coaches, and also just around campus with how well you guys have gotten off to this start?
Well, I mean, the guys, coming into the program, obviously they didn't know what to expect. Now these guys, we don't have to tell them the little details, on time mean late, you know, um, tuck your shirts in, it's a good feeling, when you look at your team and they start to understand your vision. And if they understand your vision and do what they're supposed to do, then everybody is happy. We're getting the support that we thought we would get. Obviously, when you're doing well, people is willing to help out and do the things that they need to do, both on and off the field. So it's been pretty good. But like I said, we got a lot of work to do. We're not where we need to be, and coaches know that, and then also the players. So they come in and they keep their head down and they just work.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck this week. You guys got homecoming, and it should be exciting down there.
Yeah, thank you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, you've turned this football program into a well-disciplined, player-led team. Can you talk about the importance of it being player-led and the impact that that has had on this year's record so far?
Well, that's the first thing, I said when I got hired, I wanted to be a player-led team so the players can lead the team, because we're not around them always. And like I say, we're big on accountability, and the standard, is the standard. So now you're seeing players correcting their teammates, and that's the thing, we tell the guys all the time, you should fear not to let your teammate down. It's all about you 1 and 11 doing your job, and just to see those guys improve on that aspect, it just makes everything else a little easier, for us as coaches to know that these players are leading the team, and they're doing it the way we're asking them to do it. And are we there yet? No, but we're working to get there.
Coach, I want to say I definitely saw that last week, saw players trying to control other players from getting post-penalty, post-whistle fouls. It was great to see, and I thought about you when I saw that.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, it's all we, not about me, and that's what we talk about all the time. It's about us. It's about we, because what happens is you get in situations where these guys, they want to be the guy, then they get the I mentality, and it's like, no, I mean, we got to work as a team, and I appreciate you saying that.
This question
Good
goes
luck to you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
This question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. I wanted to ask you about your receivers real quick. I see Malik Huggins leading the conference right now in receiving. Javon Ross is in 5th, and I know you've got a couple other guys that have made some plays as well. What did those guys do well that has allowed them to have the success they've had so far?
Well, they come out pre, and then also stay post, to work on their job. Everybody wants to do their job well, and those guys, it sticks out to me that, you see that group always coming to practice early and staying late. So I just think, obviously the coaches are doing a good job with the techniques and fundamentals, and that's obviously helping with the execution of the play.
Sounds good. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing today, Coach?
How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing good. I was wondering about your defense, getting more pressure to the quarterback, especially getting asking your front four to get more pressure on the quarterback to generate sacks. What are you trying to do? How do you, excuse me, try to alleviate that, getting pressure on the QB from the front four instead of from the front 7?
Well, that's something that we talk about all the time, and that's something that we work this bye week, to just kind of look at our skill set and make sure that we're putting our guys in positions to, execute. A lot of times I think we as coaches overthink stuff and we don't look at the things that we can capitalize on as far as our strengths. So that's what we've been kind of talking about and mixing and matching things that we know that's going to be successful.
All right, appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
This question goes to Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning.
Yes. Did you have any idea that your offense will be this prolific after your first two games against FBS opponents, with your offense currently averaging almost 40 points a game in your last 5 games?
Well, I mean, like I mentioned before, just getting the guys to buy in and know that it's not about just one person, it's about the team. And I think now they're playing well as a team. And the big thing is they don't care who gets the credit. And when you get that, the guys will go out and strain and put up those type of numbers.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank
Good luck
you.
this week.
Thanks.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you. All right, once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, we're happy to be joined by Coach Colsey with Florida A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking time to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alcorn State.
Obviously get an opportunity to get a win against Alcorn State. A chance to see RJ Johnson have success in what we're trying to get him to do offensively. Had some key stops late in the game against a qualified opponent. A very, very good Southern team this upcoming Saturday.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Colsey, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, what's
Doing
going
well.
on?
Doing well. Hey, congrats on that win on Saturday.
Yeah, needed it.
With that being said, you guys are getting ready to take on a Southern team that FAMU has had really good success against. You guys have won the last 5 times that you guys have played them, and you were in this series last year against them. Given everything that you guys got momentum-wise with RJ Johnson having such a good game, which was his best game as a Rattler at quarterback, what are the things that you guys need to build on this week against that Southern defense to keep things rolling for you guys?
Well, just continue to be consistent, right? Execute. I know it sounds like a bunch of football speak, but that's what it is, right? We got to go in here another week and continue to build the offense and, continue to get our wide receivers out there and get them the football in space. And, and then obviously we can't forget the run game. I still feel we got a very, very good, capable back that, the gauge with him is we can get him anywhere to 100 to 120 yards. That means he's broke a couple runs. That means he's had a touchdown or two. And most importantly, he's kept a lot of these explosive offenses on the sidelines that we're having to deal with here in this conference for this year. But, just continue to be consistent. We're obviously, trying to get ourselves to be as healthy as we can. But again, regardless of what's going on in Baton Rouge, it's about what we do and how well we do it. But the anticipation is to go against a football team that's going to be fired up, ready to go, and that's how it always is. And that's regardless of the record. That's what I feel it's going to be like this upcoming Saturday.
Appreciate you as always, Coach, and good luck down there on the bluff.
Hey, appreciate you now.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Perry, what's the deal?
You kind of mentioned what's going on in Baton Rouge, and this team, Southern University, seems to be struggling to put points on the board. They seem to be struggling tackling in open space and stopping opposing offenses. How do you keep your team focused going into A.W. Mumford Stadium and not to take this Jaguar team for granted?
Yeah, you're not going to take, staff players, anybody affiliated with this program right now. We're not going to take anyone for granted. We're going to a very, very hostile environment. They, for the most part, have had a lot of success at home. We do have guys that have been on this roster where, when we went down there in 23 and, we caught the devil, but we found a way to get out of it. But the understanding is that they're going to be ready to go. we're going to anticipate when we play them, they're going to play like they're 6-1. They're a very, very talented football team. They got a lot of great athletes. They got the size, and whenever we play teams that may not be doing what they think they're supposed to be doing the week before, they somehow find a way to get that going. So we got to make sure we go against that. And the anticipation is going into a hostile environment, winning on the road, regardless of who you're playing. Man, those are things that you got. Those are things that are tough to do. Winning college football games right now seem like very, very tough things to do, and you can't take those type of things for granted. But the standard is a standard here in Tallahassee, so we're going to be ready to go and be ready to go once we arrive.
Congratulations to you on the win, Coach. I know that meant a lot, and good luck to you.
I appreciate you now.
This question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBC Sports Lab.
Hey, boss, how are you?
This morning, Coach Coles.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on the victory, as many have said. Want to focus and turn the page to Southern. As you're on the road this week, a lot of history between this matchup. So as you alluded to, regardless of records, teams come prepared to play in these types of matchups. What do you want to see your defense be able to get done against this Southern offense that puts you in a position to be successful in this matchup?
Well, we know what they want to do, right? We know what they want to do, and I think we did a good job of this past week, stopping a very, very good running back. But we go against another one this week, right? I know, and they got not just one, they got a couple others that could take the ball the distance at any given time. But being able to get off the field, that's kind of been our gauge, right? Getting off the field on third down has been something that we've done well with, and then it's at times we've struggled with, right? So, that's defense. We want to make sure we do that. Obviously making sure we put pressure on the quarterback and all those things. But, week in, week out, getting off the field on third down and being able to contain, the run game. Because when you make a team one-dimensional, I think we got guys back there that can cover with the best of them. And, we got guys that can put the pressure on the quarterback. But we can make you one-dimensional. Those are things that are in our favor. But if Southern's allowed to be balanced and then pass when we think they're going to run and run when we think they're going to pass, that puts at a disadvantage. But third down and long, we see that as our friends. And if we can be able to get teams in third down and long, we really, really felt we're playing really, really good defense at that time.
Thank you, Coach Cozy. Good luck this week.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing today, Coach?
Doc, what's the deal, bud? How you doing, man?
Doing good. Defense, run defense played very well against Alcorn. Stopping Jacorian Sewell for only 17 yards on 13 carries. But the big issue was the special teams giving up big plays as far as starting position for Alcorn, but also giving up a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. What are you trying to do to improve your special teams to kind of go with your offense and your defensive play?
Well, believe it or not, it was 79, Doc. Thanks for bringing up the non-punt return. I just, we got to get guys down there that want to do it. I think, when you look at that play, man, you had about 2 or 3 guys hoping that someone else would make the tackle, right? You can't do that in that phase. We run the punt that we run. We have guys specifically responsible for protection. We have guys specifically that are supposed to get down the field and make plays. So, we had about 2 or 3 guys hoping that the other guy would make tackle. And now, now they got to get demoted, and we got to put our best guys out there. So, I think on that stage, right, you got to be able to make sure, because at that time of the game, right, we had complete control of the football game, kind of able to do what we wanted to do offensively and kind of being able to do what we wanted to do defensively. But we know how momentum can be, and that punt return shifted the momentum to them. Now, on the flip side, man, our Porto went and kicked the 51-yard field goal to kind of get us some momentum back. He went 4 for 5, which is really, really good, especially from the distance that we were asking him to kick from. But we all know how momentum can shift with special teams, and we need to make sure that we're doing what we need to do at any given time.
I appreciate you, Coach.
No problem, man. Appreciate you.
Question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Keisha, how you doing, Miss Keisha?
Nah, it's not that hostile in Baton Rouge. Now, come on.
You know better than that now.
So, Coach, we always talk about the things that you want to work on. Talk about some of the good things that your team is doing well that you want to see them continue doing throughout the season.
Well, they come to work every day. Right, wrong, or different. They come to work every day. Obviously, I applaud them. Obviously having the best homecoming in the country, having to deal with all of that this past week, but them guys really were locked in. All of the adversity, all of the distractions, man. Our guys went to work every day, came into work every morning, did everything I asked them to do, and did it at a high level. And then obviously, you saw the fruits of their labor this past Saturday. So it was great to see our guys do that. But I just like the way our guys come to work every day, hold each other accountable, and just do the things necessary that they need to be doing as quality student athletes for this institution.
All right. Well, good luck and safe travels to the Bluff.
Appreciate it. You gonna be there?
I will be at Magic City Classic. I just came back from the Bluff.
Okay, all right. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Appreciate everyone here, man, and good luck to everybody this week.
Thank you. All right. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize your raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, we go over now to Grambling State and Coach Joseph. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking time to join us. If you could start us out recapping your team's big win over Arkansas Pine Bluff.
First, I'd like to, congratulate the players and the coaches on a road win. It's hard to win on a road in any level of any athletics. So I'll take my hat off to them, especially after the delay, to come out with some energy and just the defense just stepping up and making them kick field goals and holding them at the end. So I'll take my hat off to them. They did a good job.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Joseph, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Wayne. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. That was a long day there for you guys on Saturday. But with all that being said, congrats on the win first and foremost. But now you turn the page as you guys get ready to make this trip out to Vegas, and it's something you guys have been looking forward to for a minute. You guys also coming off of where last year you were victorious in this matchup against Jackson State, where you guys forced 5 turnovers. Now turning the page to this year, what are the things that you guys need to do ahead of this game just to even feel like you guys can duplicate that effort from last year?
Just get the boys ready, mentally prepare for the travel. Leaving on Thursday, understand how we're going to structure their Thursday and structure their Friday, and structure their Saturday morning before the game, and that we stay on course. And we don't blink with some of the things that I'm going to ask them to do differently if we was playing, in this region, and we're not. We're skipping 2 time zones. So we got to make sure that they listen to what we're telling them, what the medical staff's telling them, so their bodies will come back and get back in the sync come Saturday. So it's going to be more off the field things. And then on the field, we understand that we're playing a very good Jackson State team, #1 team in HBCU. And they're a very well coached football team. So it's a lot of things mentally that we got to overcome going out there. But it's something that these kids, they've been locked in for the most part. So we got to really get them locked in this week.
All right, Coach. Well, congrats on the win again, and good luck to you this week.
Thank you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Super fantastic, Coach. You don't sound like you're very pleased with what took place at Pine Bluff, even though you got the victory out there. But now you're taking on Jackson State, and the fumble bug seems to have invaded your program, Coach. 3 more this past week against Arkansas Pine Bluff. How do you correct that going against this Jackson State team that looks invincible at this point?
Well, first, I probably don't sound excited about the win, but we do celebrate all victories in my family because they're hard to come by. I'm sure my cousin Terry would like to be in my shoes with the Saints going down, but he's not. And I'm sure my brother Sammy would like to be in my brother VJ's shoes with the Broncos, but he's not. So we do celebrate all victories in this family. So just because we don't sound excited, yes. we coaches, but I appreciate it though. But yes, the fumble bug, has really crept in, and I'm really surprised at it. But it's something that we work on every day. And when the temperature and the conditions change, we had to understand, like when the journey is over. Trey should have just went down. He's fighting for extra yards. T-Set knows he's in the city, so he's got to put the ball away because people are going to be snatching at it. We had 2 more on the ground,
But we got to understand, like, we got to hold on ball security. And when you have the ball in your hand, you have the whole program in your hand. We have said that over and over again. So we're going to continue working at this and try to cut it out this week. You know, what's a better week to cut out the bad habits is just against the #1 team in HBCU.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank
Safe
you.
travels to
Thank
you and your team, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
This question goes to Marvin Nichols. This question goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good morning, Coach. This is Marva Nichols, MTMV Sports. How are you this morning?
Good, Marvin. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, congratulations on your win.
Thank
And was glad to see the G-Men get that win. Every season has a turning point. Do you feel like this win can be that spark that helps the G-Men build belief and momentum for the rest of the conference schedule, especially heading into the big game in Vegas against Jackson State?
Yeah, I think anytime you can play a team of this magnitude, you know, a really good football team, and you can go and throw blows with them, you know, blow for blow with them. I think you got to be excited for that opportunity that we're getting. But you know, it's a lot. The turn the tables, you know, with programs, it's a lot. I came in, thought he can do it quickly, but before the light scoreboard ever comes on, there's a lot of things that has to take place. So we're going to continue to work in that spot, that place of continue to build over here at Grambling, and make sure that we, you know, get the right players, you know, in the building, get the right coaches in the building, just so we can continue to get better. But a game of this magnitude, you know, it was the same thing. You know, you played Ohio State, the #1 team in the country, and now you're playing the #1 team in the HBCU in the country. So it's the games like this you look forward to. That's why you come to Grambling. So it's a great opportunity, but it's a hill that we must climb.
Absolutely. Well, I will see you this weekend in Las Vegas, and good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Question goes to Kenyatta Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on the victory. As you said, wins in college football, hell, professional football, they're challenging, difficult, week to week.
Yes.
Somebody's trying to go after you just as much as you're going after them.
Exactly.
With that being said, wanted to get in the matchup, and you touched on this a little bit. You know, you played the #1 team in terms of Ohio State. Now you got the #1 team in terms of HBCU, a top 25 FCS program. Do you utilize that other outside of just your game-to-game preparation? Are you the type of coach that uses rankings, particularly if it's the #1 team going into a matchup, or is it just something that we talk about from a media perspective, particularly with a team that's been able to find a way with your quarterback plays and running back receivers making big plays at the end of the game when it counts to hold on and get a victory, oftentimes coming from behind?
Yeah, and you're right. That's why I say, you know, if we can get in there and throw blow for blow for them, you know, throw blow to blow, you know. But like I said, it's a very good football team. But you do use the kids understand. The kids understand who we playing. They read all this stuff. You try to tell them don't read everything, but they read everything. So they understand what's the magnitude of this game and who they're playing. And you get the opportunity. How many times you get the opportunity, you know, in life or in football or any sport to play two #1 teams? You know, and that's your measuring stick. Now, this playing field's a little different than Ohio State playing field, you know, because of the investment, what Ohio State can make and what the investment what Jackson State probably can make. But it's gonna be something that we're looking forward to, something that, you know, the kids understand the magnitude, but you know, you don't get an opportunity like this very much, so you got to take advantage of it, and you got to enjoy it and have fun.
I like that. I appreciate that perspective and you bringing it to the table. Unfortunately, I won't be in Las Vegas. Great place to be. But certainly we'll be watching. I have a little homecoming I got to take care of in these parts. So
I know y'all do. Good luck to y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing today, Coach Joseph?
Doc, I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. First and foremost, I won't be able to go to Vegas this weekend, but let's get back towards the game. Trey Bradford over 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. But let's talk about the defense. Defense pretty much held that passing attack to 200 yards total. But also you got 3 interceptions, 2 by Linzer and 1 by Davis. Tell us about the defense and what they do to keep improving each game.
Well, they're getting better. They're getting better with the schemes, and we played a little bit more man coverage. You kind of let Markel run free a little bit. Markel, he's a DB. He's not just a safety. He can play corner. He can play nickel. He's a very talented kid. So we try to move him around and make sure we get him in the right spots. But Coach Rollins, they did a really good job of just trying to plug the holes and stop the runs. If you look at most of the runs came with the quarterback run, so we got to do a better job at that. But they bowed their neck after we put the ball on the ground twice on the offense side. They got him to kick 2 field goals, So they bowed their neck and they toward the end of the game they had to make a stop, and they made a stop. We wasn't happy with some of. We thought some of our calls was going to be holding calls, but like the refs told us before the game that it's got to be big, it's got to impact the play before they call it, and we understand that. So like I tell our kids, when you're getting held, you got to get off the hold. And if you get off the hold, then, they're going to call it. But, you take your hat off to the defense staff. They've been working tireless hours trying to figure this thing out. And part of it in the run game, be in your gap, and part of it in the passing game and the secondary, be what you need to be in your coverage. So the defensive staff did a really good job, but you take your hat off to these kids also, because we played a lot of kids. And they bought into what we had to do. And they really came out after the break and really stood up. And I appreciate that.
Andrew, do I have one time for one more?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Going into the game against Jack State in Las Vegas, what are you trying to do as far as to limit the distractions? Because we already know what Vegas is all about, Sin City, casinos and everything. How do you keep your team focused on the task at hand and not to be distracted by the bright lights?
Just explain to them the type of atmosphere that they're going into. Something, like homecoming, people going there to have a good time. They're not as a business trip for us, and they'll see part of it from the bus. They'll see part of it from the bus. They'll be okay. They're young right now. They'll be able to go back to Vegas and have a hell of a time, either with their family, with their girlfriends, their wives. They'll have time to go back to Vegas. But right now, you're going to Vegas. You're going for a business trip, and you got to get used to doing that. So many of these kids want to play, Power 5 football, but Power 5s, you better focus every week, no matter where you're going to play. Okay, if you're going to play anywhere, you got to focus. And so we expect them to bring their best focus because they understand where we're going and who we're going to play.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Coach, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Hey, thank you guys. Hey, listen, good luck to everybody this week.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, next we go over to Arkansas Pine Bluff. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. If you do see several questions there, which we already do have several questions in the queue, please limit your questions to one initial question. If we've got time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time. If you could start us out recapping your team's most recent outing versus Grambling State.
Yeah, played Grambling here. Had opportunity to win the game, didn't finish it, so it's disappointing. So now you got Bethune-Cookman.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Hampton, hello to you this morning.
Hello.
So going back to Saturday, you guys obviously after the weather delay, you guys get the ball and you guys kick field goals there in the red zone. My specific questions though for you about those, you guys were running the ball in what seemed like a couple of passing situations on third downs. Did that have to do with the weather? Did that have to do with Christian Peters, with the way he was? Because he only completed 12 passes during the game. But just what went into that whole situation with red zone efficiency there on those 3 field goal drives?
Yeah, obviously, you call a play and we have opportunity. You have to read the defense. And so some of them were design runs. Some he has the option to read a guy. And if that guy's close enough, you need to do something different with the ball. So, like I said, we'll get better with that. So it was wet, but that has nothing to do with it. we had every opportunity to win the football game. We didn't finish. So that's what happened.
All right, Coach. I appreciate your transparency as always, and good luck as you make that trip down to Daytona.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, with such a long and unusual delay, can you talk to us about what goes on with your team in that environment in your program during such a delay? What does that look like?
Well, obviously, it's the second one we've had. We played Texas Tech. It was the same thing. Had maybe a little longer delay. And what you do is just try to, talk to the kids for a moment, kind of keep your pads on first 30 minutes. And then we realize it's going to be another 30 minutes. You let them take the pads off. And then as coaches, you gather together and look at as much film as you can and kind of go back and see, hey, this is what they're doing. How do you fix that? And obviously, we knew we had the ball first down coming out. Fourth quarter, our mindset was to go score, tied up 14-14. We knew we could get stops. And we said we need a couple of takeaways. And sure enough, we came out, got back-to-back takeaways. And if we score one touchdown, you feel really good about being able to close the game. But neither here or there. Our kids did a good job. We came back out, and we just wasn't able to finish the deal.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you this week.
Appreciate it.
This question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. I know Saturday we talked a little bit about the secondary and the way that those guys have been playing. You got some pretty good Bethune-Cookman receivers coming up this week. How do you feel like your DBs match up to those receivers?
Man, our DBs don't have to match up with those guys. Coach Woody and the staff's done a great job. They may be the best offense in the league. I don't even think it's close, honestly. Those guys can flat out run, but they got two running backs that can take it the distance. The quarterback is special. I don't know if there's another quarterback anywhere in our conference like him. That kid is tremendous with the ball in his hand. We just got to do our job. And so, at times we'll have to match up with them. But again, it's just playing technique, doing what you're told to do, line where you're supposed to do, and get hands on if you're pressing, things of that nature. But if you go watch them, man, nobody's been able to stop them. Those guys can run. They stretch you vertically down the field. And then if you play too far off, they'll throw the ball underneath, and you got to be able to tackle in space. So hats off to what they've done up until this point. But that's a really good offense over there. And I don't know if anybody has stopped them in our conference yet.
And Coach, just real quick, as far as the DBs go, I know I think Niall Johnson was out this past week or two, and I don't believe I saw Zach Williams. Maybe I missed him, but what's their status looking like?
Day to day. At the end of the day, next man up. So I don't really care about, they were banged up and, didn't have to go or couldn't go, and next man up. So, and that'll be the same way this week. We got 4 days of practice and before we can get off. But I think both of those guys will be ready come Saturday, though.
Thank you, Coach.
This question goes to Dr. Ville.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Hampton.
Morning.
I pretty much agree with you. I was going to ask about the offensive side of the ball for Bethune-Cookman, but you certainly covered it. And I agree with how proficient they've been able to be with multiple positions. But let's flip it on the other side of the ball in terms of offensively, what you want to get done versus their defense to put yourself in a position to get a victory in this matchup.
Yeah, we got to be able to score touchdowns. And obviously, if we score one touchdown last weekend, we win the game. Had the ball down in the red zone, didn't punch it in. And so you got to be able to keep that offense off the field over there on the other side, man, because like I said, those guys are doing some really great things over there. And so we got to be able to convert on third down. We were 3 of 14. Just didn't give ourselves a chance to really close the game like I thought we were going to be able to do. And so the more time we can keep their offense off the field, going to be advantage UAPB because, like I said, right now they're rolling and they got a lot of confidence. And So I think that's how you can help us. When I say help us, UAPB can help UAPB, is let's try to keep their offense off the field. And so maybe we need to go to the wishbone. We got a couple of wrinkles this week. You got to find a way, man, to be able to keep them guys off the field.
Thank you for sharing a little bit of the insight. Great information. Keep up the good work. And thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to the matchup.
Appreciate it.
Last question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Coach, if I could chime back in real quick. Obviously, Bethune-Cookman, I mean, you guys go on the road a lot, but this is about the furthest you've gone as far as a distance here. What do the logistics look like for a trip this far? Are you flying? You're busing? Like when you what's all that going to look like to get them this far as opposed to some of the closer matchups you have?
No, man, we're not gonna bust this one. We'll fly into Orlando on Friday morning, and drive over to Daytona, get to the hotel and get checked in, and have meetings that night, and have us a good team chapel at 7:00, and get some rest and some restoration, and wake up in the morning on Saturday morning, have a walk through and get ready for homecoming. So it'll be a great crowd. Like I said, I'm very familiar with Coach Woody. I worked with him at 4 different places, him and Coach Pimp, the offensive coordinator. So it'd be like a family reunion. Excited about that, seeing those guys. Our families know each other well. So I don't know if anybody caught it. So y'all missed it. If y'all really wanted some real questions, those are the questions you should have been asked. But you missed it. But anyway, that's our deal. We have a chance to play those guys. Like I said, man, we've worked together, know them well. And so it's exciting to be able to see all our families there and talk about some old times.
All right, sounds good, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Mississippi Valley State. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, we're happy to be joined by Coach Buckley with Mississippi Valley State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate your time. If you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's big win over Lincoln.
Yes, the 1-0 Mississippi Valley State. It was one of those games that we went out and played really well. We did a lot of good things. We made history with Nina Shakes, our kicker, being the first female in the conference to score 4 points in a game. I mean, in the season, she did it in one quarter. Great matchup for us, and we took full advantage of it. And I'm very proud of the guys, and looking forward to hopefully give us momentum moving forward.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Buck, good morning
Yes.
to you.
Morning.
And congrats on your first win as Mississippi Valley State's head coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as a man that's from the SIP, born and raised in the SIP, you know about this Magnolia Bowl that's getting ready to take place down there on the reservation this Saturday against Alcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with this whole thing, the heritage of just the SIP and HBCUs in the SIP and just all those feelings, I want you to talk about that briefly. And then also just this game on Saturday. What are the things and the keys that you guys got to do to build that momentum from Saturday's win and try and roll it over down there on the reservation?
Two things. When you play an in-state rivalry or however you want to look at it, it's all about pride. It's about bringing your best. It's like going to Sunday school wearing your best. You want to show up and show out. So it's not going to be a whole lot of motivational speeches this week. You don't need that. And for us, the key is what has been happening for the last couple of weeks that we got some turnaround this past week is alignment, assignment, execution, right? Getting back to the basics things, letting guys play fast and getting guys to make plays. Let playmakers make their plays.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck as you get ready this week to go on down there on the reservation. Well, go down, go down on the reservation.
Yes.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Buckley, how you doing today?
Well.
Congratulations on your first win.
Thank you.
Talk about your defense, this Valley defense, only pretty much holding Lincoln University to minus 38 yards rushing. What is the thing you tell guys about trying to get pressure on the quarterback and basically just to try to stop the run?
Man, you know what happened last week was just guys playing hard, trying to stay in our rush lanes and tackling well, and just tremendous pressure that we put on the quarterback. They allow you to hold somebody to negative 35, 38 yards. But you look at the opponents coming up this week, I mean, the quarterback is explosive. He can run. You know, their first touchdown against FAMU last week, I think was about 35, 38 yards. So right there, just alone, that'll wipe that negative yards out we had this week. It's going to be a challenge for us, keeping the quarterback contained and not letting him beat us.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Buckley.
Good morning.
Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
Very welcome. We'll talk a little bit about Josh Brown, how he's playing thus far this season, and what do you need to see him do along with the offense to put up some points or continue to put up like the points you were able to do against.
Well, like anything, not just Josh. What I've seen from Josh is a young man that's getting better every week. This past week, didn't really have a lot of opportunity to do that. And then offensively, I think we had 30-some plays. Didn't need a lot. Mm-hmm. But overall, continual development, being able to get, as a quarterback, scan the field. Can you get your one? Can you get your two? Can you get your third read? Or if you scan the field and you have something over there, can we check out this play and take advantage of something else that they're doing? But that is not just for the quarterback, that's for the entire organization, myself included. Every week we want to get better. And then last week we got better. We did some wonderful things. But the great thing about it is there's still a lot of room to improve. And I'm actually pretty pumped about that.
Thank you, Coach Buckley. Looking forward to this matchup. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Stephen Robinson.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Good morning. Wanted to follow up on Nina.
Yes.
Again, you touched on her place in history and the emotions that took place after she made that first kick. Kind of go through just what it meant and how excited not only you were, but just the entire team. It just seemed like everybody just rallied behind her and just so happy. Joyous occasion to see her etch her place in history. And just wanted to see if you could just share your emotions. What was that like to be a part of it?
I mean, when you are part of history and you watching somebody that just started to play football, was a soccer player, comes out in an improvement from week to week that she made. The emotion just comes out with just pure joy. Like you know, it's hard to describe just the excitement you have for someone like that. And the team has just embraced her, and I mean, she's their teammates, and to be a part of history, to do it like she did it. The team, everybody was just full of joy and so happy and proud of her. And then she did it 3 more times. So, and excitement was still there. Pretty nice. I think it was pretty nice for Nina. Great for the university. I think great for college football.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Wish you well this weekend.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, next we go over to Prairie View A&M and Coach Jackson. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Jackson with Prairie View A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing at Southern.
Yeah, we went over to Baton Rouge and played Southern University. I thought they were a really good football team. A lot of good athletes on the field. Probably one of the best pass rushers on our level right now. And our team was able to start off in the rain. Started kind of slow when it initially started. I thought we found our bearings and we were able to play a pretty decent football game. I still think we left some things out there. And then as the rain was coming back, I thought we finished extremely well with protecting the football and the things that you have to do when the adversity hits. And so proud of our team. Certainly got a lot to clean up. We look forward to getting back on track again this home.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. Sorry about that. Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Jackson, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
By rain, by sleet, by snow, those Panthers will go. I like that. You said that post game. So with this game that you guys just took, you guys took a major step now moving forward towards that West title. But my specific question will be for you now this week as you play your homecoming game against Lincoln. What are the specific things that you guys can do in this game against Lincoln to take away and that'll set you guys up for the things that you guys need to clean up and work on to finish the deal as you move forward?
Yeah, I just think we need to continue to improve. That's the word of the week around here this week. Every week we give our guys a word of the week. Word of the week this week is improve. We got a lot to improve up on. And if we can improve as a collective unit, then we'll be an improved football team. And so we look forward to getting to practice so that we can work on those things we need to work on continuously and tediously so that we can overall improve and look for the production that we think we still have not found yet. We played okay. We have not played well to our standards yet. And just because we're new, we're not going to get off of how we play football. And so we're excited to get to practice tomorrow and be able to improve.
Appreciate you as always, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing today, Coach?
Good morning.
All right. You said a quote, it'll be a cold day in here before they schedule y'all for homecoming again. Those are true words that haven't been said. But going into the game, you talked about in your post-game press conference, you talked about Chase Bingham, the running back, freshman. How is he? Tell us how hot he is as a player, and what does he contribute to your team?
Yeah, I just think he comes to work every day with a really good attitude, lots of effort. He's been kind of banged up. He exerts that effort in the treatment room and he got himself back, and so he's not having a Barry Sanders type year. Let's not get that misconstrued. But he's having a good year for a young freshman. And that's why I said we look forward for his development and his production for years to come, which a lot of people don't say that about guys that's having a decent year, right? We look forward to Chase Bingham being in our program for years to come because I think he can be one of the best to ever come through our conference. And that's a lot of big shoes to fill. But he's so young, he's so gifted, he's still not as strong as he probably needs to be and not as developed as he needs to be. And so we continuously work on those things. But because of his effort, because of his attitude, because of his love for his teammates and his love for the collective, we think that he has a really good chance to be a good player here.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Kenyatta Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Bill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Jackson.
Good morning, Doc.
Congratulations on the road win. You've been road victors this year, road warriors, as they would say, in terms of being able to take it on the road and get victories. And you have home slates coming down, but you start with this homecoming. I want to focus on this defense that's top in the conference, top in FCS in a lot of ways. This time they were able to do it, not only stopping the run, but really in terms of the passing game. Talk about what is making this defense effective and some of the folks that are highlighting and getting things done, particularly on the back end.
Yeah, I just think they take the challenge every day. You know, inside of our building, we haven't done anything. We look at numbers to make sure we're on pace to do what we said we want to do, but we don't look at the numbers and go, okay, we've arrived. These guys come to work every single day. They've been banged up. They've done some really good things. I think schematically, our coaches do a good job of helping them and not putting them in bad situations for the most part. But they're a come to work group. If you look back at everywhere we've been, this is nothing new to us from a defensive standpoint. It's always been this way, and so we're just trying to be what the best that we can be right now and every day. And so, coaches talk about winning the day and doing all those things. All that stuff is true. That's all I think everybody's trying to do is win every day, especially in this climate of college football. Man, it's every hour on the hour, trying to make sure our guys understand that just because we were don't mean we will be, and we got to continue to work.
Thank you for the insight, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, can you talk about the play of Cam Peterson, and would you talk about whether or not there's been a shift in your philosophy as far as the dual quarterback since he got the lion's share of the significant snaps this week?
Cam Peters is his name.
Peters, forgive me, Coach.
No problem. No, I don't think there's been a shift. I just think, as I told you guys a while back, we have to do and play the people that can help us win that day. And so coming off the bye week, he had done some really good things. Internally, we had our reasons for why we did what we did. And so, we look forward to continuing to play both guys. But that day, we felt like that's what would help us. And so the philosophies and things people might not agree with, but nobody is in the program like we are every single day. And so when we see certain things, we have to maneuver in a manner that allows us to win the upcoming game. And so I thought he gave us the best chance to win the upcoming game. And I thought he played okay. Still looking for him to play well, as we are all the rest of our guys.
Thank you, Coach. And again, forgive me for that slip.
No problem. Thank you.
This question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach.
Good morning.
Keisha J. Kelly, Black College Experience. Congratulations on your win down at the Bluff, and now y'all go into homecoming. What are y'all looking for, besides the win, what are y'all looking most forward to building on in this upcoming match with Lincoln?
Yeah, we're just looking to improve. It doesn't matter who we play. It could be the New York Football Giants. We're just trying to improve every week. We're in no place as a program to be predicting or forecasting what we're going to do because we still haven't played our best, in my opinion. And until we do, we're playing to play our best, regardless of who the opponent is, and we need to improve. The Lincoln football team they don't have bad athletes. They got really good athletes. And so they might not have had a lot of success, but they've got really good athletes. And anytime people have really good athletes, you have to be concerned. And so we've got to make sure that we handle their athletes. We play our brand of football, but we've got to improve everywhere. And that's something that you're going to hear me say every single week because I believe we still have not reached where we need to be in order to be in the championship conversation.
Well, good luck this weekend. I looked for you Saturday, saw you in the rain, but good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
The question goes to Charles Porter.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Man, you just keep on rolling. The Panthers are doing it. The defense is what I want to talk about. We're going to send Kenyatta to the principal's office for copying off of my paper. But defensively, man, you guys have gotten progressively better. I mean, this week, you had 5 players with 4 tackles, 2 players with 6. Randall leads the way with 7. Amayo does a great job with 6. And then the interception from, is that Gukaki?
Nutaki.
Well, there we go. We got to get that right before this weekend. We did a good job last time. But anyway, going into the game, the defense, I watched the defensive guys. I watched the guys walk into the stadium. And amongst the taunts and jeers of some of the fans that you guys had to walk through to get to your side of the field, you guys were focused. The guys looked straight ahead. They didn't turn. They looked straight ahead. I mean, they were as focused as I've seen the Panthers this year. How do you keep that focus this week with playing a team that, I'm not going to say has lesser talent, but with a bad record like they have, with not a record as yours? How do you play a team like that and stay focused amongst the homecoming after coming off such a big atmosphere in homecoming previously last week?
Again, I think, Mr. Porter, if you look back where we've been, we've always done a good job of keeping the main thing the main thing. I think our coaches do a good job of that, and we get that relayed to our players fairly well for the most part. We simply tell them that we're in no position to think we've arrived. Just because you were, don't mean you will be. Just because you were not, don't mean you can't be. And so just, we keep the main thing the main thing. And what we're having to do here at Prairie View A&M is we're having to teach people that homecoming is about the game. Nobody comes to homecoming. If there's no football game, there's no homecoming. And I think that's been a big, tall task around here. And so for us, when we say things like that, then we have to put a good product out on the field. And we bring the pressure internally, and we live like that, and we love that way. And so we look forward to being able to touch the grass again Saturday at 2:00 because it's our next opportunity to improve and make homecoming about the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Next question goes to Terrence Harris.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, how are you dealing with this revelation that came out on Friday that you're a candidate for you may be a candidate for the UAB job? How are you dealing with that internally and just outwardly as well?
Yeah, that has no bearing on what we got going on. And I mean, that's a position you want to be in. When you're winning, you want people to talk. People don't talk about losers. Nobody's name is any article. People that's losing. Just is what it is. And so we've dealt with that for so long, and where we were to come in here, and we were on a national championship run. Everybody had us going everywhere across the country. We're just a bunch of D2 guys, man, trying to figure this Division I thing out. I mean, that's what everybody thinks anyway, right? So when you can win, and I tell our players, nobody's talking about that if we're not winning. So let's just keep winning. And a lot of that stuff, I'm glad you brought the question up. People that really are inside of our business know that it's not even that time yet. October ain't that time. That's not what's happening with jobs on that level. And so it's not even that time. There's a lot of other guys that name came out on that deal. We're flattered, but it has no bearing on what we're trying to get done. It's not going to be the last time that we come out on the list. And so let's just go ahead and put that out there, and the articles can start. Our guys are focused on keeping the main thing, as is our coaches, as am I. And so that's just part of it. We'd rather it that way than nobody talking about you, because that means you're a loser if nobody's talking about you, or that means you haven't positioned your career to be at places where people want to talk about you. It is what it is. And so we take great pride in it, but it has no bearing on what's going on inside of our building. I'm just really proud of our players for not even dealing with that and going forward.
Thanks, Coach.
Last question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
Doing well.
Charles Bishop, Dr. Cavil's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I just kind of want to follow up on defensive side of the ball. Trevor Randall, another great game against Southern, 12 tackles, but he leads the conference in tackles. Just talk about his play and what he's been able to do for your defense.
Yeah, it's Trevor too, Charles.
Trevor, sorry about that, Coach.
And yeah, we got some guys with some names, man. So I imagine me having to learn all of them. Trevor, when we brought him here in January, he's one of our first recruits, and he's a very locked-in guy. He did some really good things on film where he was. The position that we've now put him in as the middle safety requires him to tackle. And I think, schematically, we funnel the ball to him. It's no secret what we do on defense. The secret is how you get to him, right? And people they've struggled to figure that out. He's done a good job of disguising some things and making himself available and in the fit to make the tackle the way he's supposed to. And so it doesn't surprise me that he leads the league in tackles. I didn't know that. But his work ethic, the way he's at practice before and at practice after, during the bye week, he was up here all weekend. It doesn't surprise me. And so we look forward to him making more. A lot of people that don't know football or don't know what we're doing, they would be concerned about a safety leading the team in tackles. If you look back where we've been, it's always been that guy. And so it lets me know that we're normal. It lets me know that we're still playing defensive football the way we want to play defensive football. And so we look forward to him continuing at the end of the season when things matter, doing the same thing. But he's a hardworking kid, comes from a great family. Glad he's on our team.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to talking with you later this week.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. Go Panthers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we now go over to Texas Southern University and Coach Dishman. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your question, and please ensure that your lines are actively muted unless you are asking a question. All right, I do believe that we have Coach with us. All right, here he is. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies.
Coach, apologies for the delay, and thanks for taking time to join us. If you could, Coach, start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's homecoming win over Virginia Lynchburg.
Well, I think Coach Jackson said it best, that the homecoming is really not for the football team; it's really for everybody else. So I thought we did what we had to do as far as our homecoming game, and now we have to move on to our next game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Dishman, 4 straight wins. Congrats to you.
Thank you.
So now you're on your bye week, and talk about the importance of this bye week to yourself, the team, and your staff, and what are the things that you guys are going to be looking to improve on and key in on this bye week as you get ready for Alcorn on the 1st?
Well, we're keying on Alcorn already. First and foremost, let's getting us back healthy. Our coaches' mind clear and back healthy, because coaches need a bye sometimes too. So getting our coaches back healthy also. And we're going to have 2 weeks to work with Alcorn and figure this thing out.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Next question goes to Kenyatta Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach Dishman, good morning.
Dr. Cavill, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on the victory. As you said, pre-game, it's not for the coaches or players, but after the game, you certainly feel better after getting a victory in all phases of the game, performing extremely well.
I think these last 2 weeks, our team has really, on all 3 phases, has really helped us win the football game. With our special teams, kickoff return team has done a great job. Coach Wilson do a great job with those guys on kickoff return, punt return. Coach D-Mac do a great job with those guys. So I think our return teams have done a great job. Kickoff I'm not too pleased with, so we have to get a little bit better at that.
The question I had there was to ask you a little bit, as you alluded to the off week, getting healthy, but already focusing on Alcorn. How do you go about balancing that off in terms of how much do you allow coaches and or players to take off this week to rehabilitate, whether it's physically or mentally, but at the same time preparing for the next matchup?
Well, as coaches, everybody on this line really know that coaches really don't have a bye week. We don't have an off day. So even though sometimes we may or may not come into the office, I'm in the office 7 days a week.
Yes,
I come in the office on Sunday, then go down to St. Mary's Church and go to church, and then come back to the office. So we really don't have an off day. It's the days that we try to get better each and every day. As I come in on Sundays, I try to how can I get this team better each and every day? What can I say or do to help our guys be better student athletes?
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate the insight, and certainly appreciate the correction and letting me know the framework of what coaches do week to week. Very, very astute observation. Thank you.
Mm.
All right, quick update. We will have Coach Graves with Southern University joining us next. Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm swell, and you?
I'm doing good, doing good. 4-game winning streak. Now you're on the bye week, and you're getting ready for the second half of SWAC play, starting with Alcorn. What are some things that you see for Alcorn that you think you can actually exploit, especially defensive-wise?
Well, they're a very good team, so we have to be on our P's and Q's, and we have to do what things are right. I'm disappointed in our last game. We had a lot of offensive penalties. Our offense does not work that way, and we're going to get it straight. I'm sure our offensive coaches is in the rooms now grinding and see what can we do better. So we got to cut down our penalties if we want to be able to win versus Alcorn.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All right.
This question goes to Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Mr. Nash.
I had to go back to this past weekend, but I'm a little curious. I want to get something from your perspective, being that Texas Southern is only the second SWAC team to face Virginia Lynchburg. I wanted to get your opinion on what it's like coaching against Coach Newman.
Well, we didn't want to be the team to allow them a victory. Yes, we scheduled them a homecoming. We scheduled them a homecoming last year. It's not that we don't think they're a good team. It's just the way our schedule is. So, as Coach Wilson said, the pregame talk that we're here to win the game. We're not here for homecoming. We're not here for anything else. We're here to win the game.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach.
All right.
Last question goes to Terrence Harris.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. You?
I'm good. Hey, I just wanted to ask you, what have you seen? What's been the difference in Renfro from last year to this year, and what's created that difference for him?
He has a very good coach. Kimball Anderson do a great job with running backs, not just Renfro. Our whole offense have done. Steve Smith and the offensive coach have done a great job with those guys. And we're playing very complimentary football right now. As far as our defense is getting 3 and outs, getting the ball back to our offense. Our offense score down to score. So we're playing very complimentary football right now, offensive and defensively.
But what about Renfro specifically? What's different for him?
It's nothing different for him. I think you guys are just now paying more attention to him. Renfro is the way he's in practice. The way he's in the game is the way he's in practice. He go full speed. He's hard to tackle. He's just a guy that wants it.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, gentlemen, ladies, have a great one.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Southern University. Coach Graves, once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature. And Coach, I want to apologize up front for that error in the order of the coaches there on the call. So I apologize and I appreciate your patience.
How you doing, Drew? And not a problem.
Doing great, Coach.
Yeah, we had homecoming on the Bluff last week. And, it started off, weather started off under a slight delay, and then the sun came out and then it rained periodically through the game. But, just disappointed that, we're still dealing with the same struggles that we've had all season, the inability to score points. And then we get worn down defensively and then we give up some plays. The guys are playing hard, they're fighting hard. But it's it's one of those things where we're just consistently inconsistent. We can move the ball up and down the field, but when it gets close, we fumble the ball on the 24-yard line going in, had an opportunity to score or get points. And it's just it was a frustrating day, disappointing for the seniors, the players, the alumni, everybody. But, today's a different day. We'll go out tonight and get ready to play, prepare to play a really good FAMU football team that's coming in here on Saturday.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Graves, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
So I know that you'll say that your focus this week is on FAMU, but I just really want to ask, just as the losses and calls for your dismissal continue to mount, I want to know how is this season being 1-6? How's it worn on you personally, professionally, spiritually, all that good stuff? And if you think a big finish to this season is enough to silence all of that.
Well, I'll answer the last part first. Finishing strong and finishing big will be great. I don't know if it will totally silence everybody, but it would be great. How it's affected me personally is that I'm a competitor, and certainly I would rather be 6-1 than 1-6. But the reality is we're 1-6, and it's not that we don't have a good football team. It's just things. It's just one of those years of many factors and things are just not coming together at this time. But spiritually, I'm fine. I'm a strong man of faith. So I'm at peace with who I am and whose I am. So that I don't waver on that. Of course, you always want to do your best. No one, certainly I didn't expect us to be in this position. We didn't expect to be in this position, but we are in the position. And then as I always say, you have two choices in life, and you either you put your head down and you go, woe is me, and allow life to consume you, or you keep your head down and you keep working and you fight through it. Because if you eventually fight through it, then you'll come out better on the other side. So that's how things have been going.
Well, Coach Graves, I appreciate that answer very, very much. And good luck to you this week as you guys look to snap a 5-game losing streak against FAMU. I know you'll be fired up.
All right. Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Super fantastic, Coach. I don't say this lightly. It is good to see you this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I want to mention a quote here, Coach, and there's a quote that says that greatness starts with tough conversations in the mirror. Can you give us a glimpse of what that conversation would sound like for you?
A glimpse is, you just, for me, would be, I got to be better. I got to be better for us to be better. And that starts with, one of my good friends and the man that I worked for at another school, Broderick Fobbs. He used to always say, scratch where it itches. And so that's the thing that I take with me. I got to scratch where it itches, and whatever needs to be fixed. That's what we work on to get fixed. You got to start with yourself. How much better, regardless of circumstances. You never hear me complaining about those things because, like I said, this is a collision sport, not a contact sport. So injuries, even though some may be more, more severe than others, but at the same time, it's next man up. And so, just looking at how to do some things in terms of turning this thing around, the strategies, and just looking at everything from A to Z. And so that's how that would look.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Question goes to Keisha Kelly.
Hey, Coach. Keisha J. Kelly, Black College Experience. How are you?
I'm doing well, Keisha. How are you?
I'm well. So I'm not gonna dwindle on all the conversation, the same questions, talk about what happened last week. We know it is what it is. There's no point in talking about the same thing. We know that the center of everything is the athletes. We focus on the athletes, which is the questions that we should be asking about the athletes. How are we keeping the athletes? How are you keeping that team motivated and going into this week as they FAMU comes on the bluff?
You always hear me, Keisha, say relationships matter.
Always.
And so we when you pour good things into them, it sticks and it lasts. And these guys do a great job. They fight and they believe. Even if you watched the game on that the last touchdown that PV scored, that was a 4th down deal. And as I told the media, I said, because I was asked the question, do I think the guys quit? And I said, well, did you watch that that last series, it was 4th down and they eventually scored. But I said, did you watch those guys play those 3 plays prior? And I said, that right there lets you know that these guys have fight in them. They have something in them. And it's because what we pour in them and teach them and instill in them. In life, everything is not going to always go the way that you expect it to be or hope to be. But in the end, you got to keep fighting so that eventually you will win.
All right. Well, I said keep fighting, coach, and good luck playing FAMU this weekend.
Thank you.
This question goes to Dr. Cavill.
It's Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Gray.
Good morning, Dr. Cavill. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. Hope you're well as well. I wanted to ask you about this upcoming matchup against FAMU. The Rattlers, obviously, traditionally, a lot of history in various ways associated with this matchup. But to the game this weekend, FAMU has had its up and down in terms of what it wants to do schematically, defensively. Also, what you're seeking to do offensively. Can you talk a little bit about that part of this matchup? What do you want to seek to get done offensively against this Rattlers defense?
Doc, it sounds cliches and cliquish, but
that's fair.
Execute and score points. That's the thing. Score points. We can move the ball. We're moving the ball fairly well most of the time, and it seems like that red zone or green zone seems to get away from us for whatever reason.
Right.
And and so it's something that and I said, we're dealing with 2 quarterbacks that's on the job training, and hey, that's part of it. But I think they're good enough and they're capable enough to execute what we're trying to do. And it's not just those 2, it's everybody. Everybody has to do their part so that we execute. We can't afford to get behind the chains. We get behind the chains now, it makes it tough. And then, they allow teams to pin their ears back and come after us. So we got to be able to stay ahead of the chains, and we got to be able to score. And I know that they're having their, challenges and issues themselves defensively or but they're going to be fired up, ready to go and coming in here. So we got to make sure that we're fired up and ready to go, and we got to execute at a high level, because our guys know that they can score if we execute, and we just got to go out and do it.
Thank you for the breakdown, Coach. Good luck this weekend. I am looking forward to it.
Thank you. All right.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Doing good. Again, ask a question about the offense. Is trying to get a shot of rejuvenation inside of the offense, but seeing where you're going with Ashton Strata, it seems like the offense tends to kind of lag behind. Also with Trey Holly getting the most carries that he's gotten this season, still tends to take himself out of games. Are you looking forward trying to switch up QBs, going with either McCoy or even maybe Jalen Woods?
Well, we still, every day, the coaches is going to make that decision. They're going to practice. They're going to see how we look in practice every day, and whomever's executing the best, that's what we'll do. It's not a situation of musical chairs. It's a situation where who gives us the best chance to execute the offense and move forward during the week and then headed into the game. I don't think it's not a crime to play 2 capable quarterbacks, or it's not a crime to play quarterbacks when you need a shot of energy. Last year I played 3 quarterbacks, and we won the West and got to the championship game with that format. So it's not foreign to play multiple quarterbacks. Yeah, in a perfect world, would you like to have one guy to go out and lead the offense? Yeah, but that's not always the formula of the case that leads to success. So again, we're gonna based on guys who's ready to go and how they execute and prepare during the week, then that's what we'll do.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to Brendan Fairburn.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Good morning.
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Oh, it is good afternoon. Good call. Quick question. After the game, Athletic Director Roman Banks said there's going to be conversations to have over the weekend. Has he spoken to you, and has he informed you of your future as Southern's head coach?
We've talked. We had conversations every week, and we talked. And as I said, as of right now, I'm the head football coach at Southern. Business as usual. I'm doing a conference call. I'm headed on. When I get off of here, I'm headed to do the coaches show. We'll have meetings tonight. We have practice tonight, all like we do every Monday night. And so it's business as usual. Until something changes, then I'm just gonna still do what I do.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow.
All right.
Last question goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good afternoon, Coach Graves. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Want to talk about the mental resilience of your team during this challenging stretch. How are you supporting the mental resilience of your players, and what strategies are you implementing to help them stay positive and focused on improvement, especially this upcoming weekend with all of the media surrounded around, the losing streak?
Well, as I said earlier, relationships matter. So when you pour into them the right things, that's the first thing. And then, just positive reinforcement. It's so easy and quick to run and give negative reinforcement when things aren't going well, but that doesn't always work, and that's not always the best practice. So, with all the negativity that's going on, somebody has to be positive, and someone has to be that voice to calm those things. And as I tell them, as Coach Joseph said earlier, Coach Mickey said earlier, you, as much as you talk about, don't read and don't listen to or what have you, they're going to do that because they're part of the technology age. So it's our responsibility to come back and to assure and reassure them of what's positive and what we need to focus on. And then these are life lessons. And so when you do that, and then we have of course, we have a strong spiritual base, and we rely on that as well. So all those factors, everything that helps to help these young men navigate not just through the trials and tribulations of winning and losing football games, but also the trials and tribulations of winning in life. So we don't waver from that, regardless of things are going good or going bad. We always continue to keep things even keeled and make sure that they understand that where the help and the resources come from, and we have open door policy, so they always can come in, sit down, talk with us, and if we can't help them, then we have resources on campus and outside resources to help those guys as well deal with those things.
Outstanding. Well, keep the faith and good luck to you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
All right, next we round out our call with Coach Taylor with Jackson State. Once again, if you have a question, please utilize your raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your question. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Taylor with Jackson State. Good morning, Coach. Good afternoon.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, how y'all doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking this opportunity to join us, Coach. Obviously, this past week, a bye week for your program. So if you can just kind of start us out by assessing this past week for your team.
Yeah, real quiet week for us. Quiet is good. We was able to recruit some guys for us, some injured guys that weren't able to play against Alabama State, get them back on their feet, get a good jump start on Grambling, and Coach Joseph in that program getting ready for this big game in Vegas this week. So, like I said, we took some time, did some self-scouting as a staff, and started, getting ready for the opponent this week, which will be Grambling over in Vegas.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach TC, how you doing today?
I'm good, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing good. Going into this game with Grambling, heading out to Vegas, trying to ask Coach Mickey this already. what are some things you're trying to do to keep the focus on the game and the task at hand, and to diminish the outside noise or the lights when it comes to Las Vegas?
I mean, none of that is going to change. Vegas is still going to be Vegas. It's just my staff and myself. We just got to do a good job of keeping these guys locked in, and they understand. For us, it's a big conference game. A team that spanked us pretty good last year when we went down to Grambling. So we're locked in. It was no different getting them locked in for our homecoming. It's the same kind of vibe. Try to just avoid all the distraction. Make sure they understand that. We'll get down there on Thursday, have a practice on Friday, and get ready for the game. But it's all about business for us.
I appreciate you, Coach.
No problem. Appreciate you, Doc.
Question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach TC Taylor, how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. So a couple things here real quickly. Can you give us an update on some of the injuries, like particularly like Cam Salas, and then also with this game going on here in Vegas, getting ready to play Grambling, what are the things that you are looking to see from your team that'll set you up as you get into this Final Five?
Yeah, we should get Cam back. He practiced last week, so we're excited about him. He was really missed in last weekend's game against Alabama State, so we should get him back. And so DeAndre Towns Blue did play, but he got banged up a little bit, and he's back on his feet. So we're pretty much locked and ready to go. So just looking forward to it. Ask me that second part of that question again, Wayne.
Yeah, I was saying with this game that you guys are getting ready to play with Grambling, what are the things that you're looking for to see in this game from your team that sets you up for this Final Five?
Yeah, that part. Okay. Yeah, we always talk about getting to this part of the season. It's kind of like what we call our third going into the fourth quarter of the season. And we right where we want to be. We're still in control of our own destiny. So we don't want to be relying on someone else to win or lose in order to get us to where we want to be, which is our East Division champion and playing for a SWAC championship. So we're right where we want to be at this point of the season. That's why we did a lot of self-scout last week as a staff on that bye week to see things that we can do better and different going forward these last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. But we want to stay in control of our own destiny, continue to go out and playing good football, Wayne.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you as always. Good luck in Vegas.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good afternoon, Coach Taylor.
What's up, Doc? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I see you're taking that #1 ranking inside the HBCU Sports Lab, 14 consecutive weeks on the road. Stats performed, FCS 12th ranked team, AFCA FCS coaches ranked number 11th. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about a comment that went, I guess some would say viral, I guess is the term they use these days, in regards to the playoffs and Cricket Celebration Bowl. Wanted to ask you from this perspective, as you said, the consternation in regards to looking forward to opportunities that exist that are outside of your control, maybe. What are your coaches wrestling with in terms of what that looks like when you made that comment? Can you explain a little more in regards to what that looks like?
If you think a couple years back when Coach Prime was here and Fam was really good, and we ended up defeating Fam in the Orange Blossom Classic, but they had a solid record, and it just gave them an opportunity to go to the playoffs. That's what I was talking about when you talk about that. I know it'll be tough for Alabama State with them playing that Classic so late, but if it was vice versa and they had beaten us and we finish out strong the right way, it would still provide us a opportunity to play postseason ball. And that's just something that we talk about as a staff here, being ready either way. No knock against the playoffs, no knock against the Celebration Bowl. That is an awesome event. I've been in there, 4 or 5 times now. John Grant and his staff does a great job. That entire weekend over there for that national championship game. And, that's always the goal. You want to be a national championship, win a national championship for your school, for your program, for your fans. But what about that second tier school that has a 11-2 record, a 10-2 record, 10-1 record? The playoffs will provide them an opportunity to, continue to play some postseason ball. So that's what I basically meant with that statement, Doc.
Appreciate providing additional clarity. Thank you for your time, Coach.
No problem.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good afternoon, Coach.
How you doing, Perry?
Super fantastic, Coach. Coach, Jacobian Morgan is the preseason SWAC offensive player of the year, but in a conference full of great quarterbacks, sometimes he's not mentioned in that top tier. So I don't want this question to be taken as any disrespect to him. He is a fantastic quarterback and a national champion quarterback. But I want to ask you about defending Xavier T-Set this weekend in Las Vegas. What are your thoughts on that and that young man's play?
He's a really good young quarterback that's going to be a real problem in this league going forward. We faced him last year over there when he was at Southern with Coach Graves. They played several guys over there, and I just thought he was talented. He has an arm strength. He can run around. He's just a sophomore on the field, so his best football is still ahead of him. He's been hampered with a few injuries and everything, but he's a guy that you gotta, you do have to do a good job of game planning for a young man like that. But you talk about young talent at quarterback position. He's a guy that's going to be, hopefully around in the SWAC for a while going forward. He started out at Southern. Now he's at another program at Grambling, with another school that has great tradition there. But he can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his legs. It's just about the talent he has around him and keeping him bottled up in the pocket.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
What's up, Chuck? How's that golf swing?
Oh, it's sweet, Coach. I did want to ask about the matchup in regards to your offensive line versus their defensive line. Grambling does lead the conference in sacks, and you're second in the conference with regards to sacks given up. But just talk about the Grambling defensive line, what you see from them.
As a whole, they're a really talented unit, up front. I think that's going to be a big challenge for our offensive line. They, like you said, one of the top defensive lines in the SWAC, lead in sacks. So they're going to get after it. They know we run the ball well. Our offensive line does a great job of pass protection and everything. So I think that's one of the keys in this football game, that their D-line versus our offensive line. But a group that plays well together and they play hard. Coach Joseph have those guys really playing hard and, up to par type football. So we're going to have to account for those guys and really try to establish the line of scrimmage in this game.
Appreciate your time as always, Coach.
No problem. Thank you, Chuck.
All right, we'll take 3 more questions. First one will go to Doc Holliday.
Coach, circle back around. Getting pressure on a QB against this Grambling quarterback. You want to get pressure as far as with your front four or either using your front seven coming into this game this weekend?
Just trying to. That's the great question there. Our defensive staff, we feel like we should have had a little more pressure in that last game going forward against Body. But, you try to find ways for Quincy Ivory to free up and make plays. Jeremiah Williams, those guys, Tymon Wells. So, we just got to sit back and, schematically put the best plan together for us to go get after him. T-Set, like I said, he's a little banged up. We saw he had an ankle injury there. So I don't know how much he's going to run the ball around. They got a really solid backup over there as well. So, whether we're sending extra guys or relying on our front four is no different than I was just telling Chuck. We got to see what the matchups look like with their offensive line and our defensive line. That's going to be key. If we need to send an extra guy in certain pressure, certain down and distances and things like that. But the main thing is, regardless, we got to keep him, from breaking the pocket. I'm big on, keeping him contained, keep him in the pocket, make him step up into our D tackles, those inside guys who gets a great push.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
No problem.
All right, 2 more questions. First one goes to Mona Stapleton.
Hey, Coach TC, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So Jackson State, the FCS poll came out today. You guys are currently ranked 12th. This is a get back game from last year. You guys faced adversity versus Alabama State and came out victorious. What is your how are you preparing for the road trips in terms of your practice schedule and your travel schedule for Vegas, especially with that time change that you'll be facing?
Yeah. Like I told the guys this morning and on yesterday in our team meetings, the schedule is what it is. We got to go out there and execute it. So, we'll leave here on Thursday. We'll practice here Thursday morning and get another one in on Friday. But we just got to be ready to go. I just got to, that's why I was so thankful for the bye week, to get these guys back down to planet Earth after that big win against Alabama State a couple of weeks ago, because it was no difference last year. We were going into Grambling coming off a big win at home against Southern. And they just, they really smacked us in the mouth, so we got to be prepared for that. But I think these guys are up for it. They understand the ramifications of this game, another big conference game for us. But, we'll get over there, try to rest best we can, but we'll be ready to go on Saturday.
All right. Looking forward to seeing it in Vegas live. Good luck, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Marvin, did you have a question?
Yes, I'm sorry. Good morning. Well, good afternoon, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good. Coach Taylor, as two of the most prestigious programs in the SWAC, what does this rivalry against Grambling State mean for your team, and how do you convey the importance of this matchup to your players?
Yeah, I mean, you could go back to, Grambling probably, well, no, probably too. It had the greatest HBCU, not one of the greatest coaches in the, that ever did it. And Coach Eddie Robinson, he did a lot of winning there, the tradition and the players that went on to the NFL. You flip over to Jackson State, all the fanfare and, the Hall of Famers in both programs, and you take this out to the West Coast where a lot of people can't touch HBCU football out there, or maybe hadn't had opportunity to see what HBCU football looks like. I was just saying earlier on another interview, we got a great fan base and an alumni base over there. So I'm excited about the challenge over there. Coach Joseph and them, they're coming off a great win against Pine Bluff this past weekend. Their team is playing hard right now. And we're coming off a big win a couple of weeks ago. So it should make for a great game, and I know both teams will be ready to go. And what two bigger names than Grambling and Jackson State in Vegas, come this weekend. So it's going to be exciting, 24 hours on that Saturday.
I agree, and I'm so excited to be there, and I will see you soon.
All right. Safe travels and take care.
You as well.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, appreciate your patience with us, and look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Okay. Take care, you guys. Enjoy.
Thank you.
All right.
Concludes our SWAC football head coaches media session for Monday, October the 20th. Just a reminder, all SWAC football head coaches media sessions are digitally archived on the SWAC Digital Network YouTube page and SWAC TV. Thank you so much for joining.